guys, welcome back. We're gonna do something a little different this time.
What are we doing?
Well, I decided to take over. I had a story that I was super interested in, and it does both spoopy and murder. So Wes has a couple of details.
Not much.
To give the add to the story.
I'm working 2 mice at the same time with two different hands.
2 mice?
That's pretty impressive for somebody that
doesn't function well as a human.
And has Crown Royal in me. I just realized that. I feel like the guy from a movie with hacking and stuff and all. Like, I don't know, like where there's walls of computers and there's like an idiot savant just like...
You're a special human being. Yeah. Oh my god. Alright, so this is going to be a wild ride. I was on Dayquil when I wrote this, so shout out to Dayquil. Y'all should sponsor us because I drink enough of it.
Yeah. She drinks it out of the bottle like I drink the Crown Royal.
Okay, listen, I don't drink it. I take a shot of it.
That was more than a shot.
Because I'm a sick human being. I'm trying to be functional.
Addict.
No. I only take it when I'm sick. Anyways.
Oh, okay. So.
Oh my god. Wesley. Alright, so this week we are going to talk about the most infamous hotel in all of LA.
Ooh.
The Cecil Hotel. It is stated to be the inspiration for the 2015 season of American Horror Story titled Hotel. It's now called the Stay on Main. It was built in 1924 by William Banks Hanner in Los Angeles. At the time, Hanner spent $1 million creating the perfect hotel, and due to inflation, today that would be $13 million.
Oh, wow.
The hotel featured a large marble lobby, stained glass windows, and statues made out of alabaster. Now, unfortunately for Hanner, the Great Depression hit soon after.
What is alabaster?
It's like a marble-ish, like white stone. I don't think it's like marbled. I think it's like a white stone. It's alabaster.
Okay. I didn't know.
Yeah. Anyways.
On Marble Talk with Keisha and Wes.
Stone Talk. But yeah. The Great Depression hit 2 years afterward. So not only did business decline for the hotel, but the quality of the area that the hotel was in declined as well. Soon the area became known as Skid Row, and the hotel itself became a meeting place for junkies, runaways, and criminals. And the area soon became populated with more than 10,000 homeless people living in a 4-mile radius.
I bet there were a lot of hookers around there.
Listen, sir, you are not incorrect.
I knew it.
The 19-story building may have been built for greatness, but it soon would see a much darker side and become one of the most talked about spots for the events that would occur. During the 1930s, the hotel saw multiple suicides, so we're starting out grim.
Mm-hmm. Just jump right into it.
Yeah. But remember, this is the Great Depression, so suicide rates skyrocket anyways during this time. But in 1931... guest W.K. Norton was found dead in his room after having ingested poison capsules. In 1932, 25-year-old Benjamin Dodich passed from self-inflicted gunshot wounds to the head, and a maid found him while she was doing her daily tidying.
Gunshot wounds?
I might have just typed an S.
Oh,
by accident,
it's like, wow. Sorry.
Wesley, it's Dayquil.
Yeah. It's like he shot himself 15 times in the head.
Maybe it was like he shot himself once, but there was multiple wounds from it.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe he shot himself once and there was one wound and Keisha doesn't know how to type.
Could be.
That's probably it. 2 years later, a former Army Medical Corps Sergeant, Louis D. Borden, was found dead in his room after having slit his own throat.
Oh, it's a heck of a way to go.
Yeah. Borden... he wrote multiple suicide notes, one of which detailed how he wanted to end his life due to his poor health. In 1937, Grace Magro was found wrapped in the telephone wires near the street, having either fallen from her 9th floor window or having jumped from it.
Man.
She was alive when they found her, but After being rushed to the hospital, she later passed away. They were never able to find out whether she was attempting suicide or whether this was simply an accident. The next year, Marine fireman Roy Thompson, which apparently I did not spell like Roy Thompson, 35 years old, took a leap from the top floor of the hotel, and his body was later found on top of a skylight at the building next door to the hotel.
Damn. So this was a good place to go jump off of, wasn't it?
I mean, not a good place, but it was a popular place.
Yeah, kind of like the San Francisco Bridge. The Golden... How did I forget the name of that bridge? Golden Gate
Arches Bridge.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
McDonald's Bridge.
Yeah.
Side note, there are many more deaths that occurred during this time, but due to time constraints for a podcast, as well as the amount of information available while I did my research, you probably won't hear near to all of them.
Really?
You're going to get a lot.
Probably get depressing, I guess, too.
Yeah.
Like we
I mean,
learned.
it's just like a list of, listing a lot, like I just did. It's kind of a crossover episode, so, I'm trying to include as much spoopy as possible, but they also didn't list a lot of spoopy. So, I'm just going with it, guys. We're just rolling with it. So, the next one. 1944, Dorothy Jean Purcell, who was 19 at the time, went into labor in the hotel.
So it was something happy, at least.
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
She was sharing a room with her 38-year-old partner, Ben Levine, who was a shoe salesman. She did not want to wake him, so she went to the bathroom to have the child. Thinking that her son was stillborn, although most sources state that she claimed later to police that she was unaware that she had been pregnant at all.
Wow.
She decided to throw the baby out of the window. Yeah.
What kind of shitty people are these? First of all, she was afraid to even tell him that she was going to have a baby. Like, I don't want to wake you up. I'm about to have a baby.
Yeah, I don't know. The baby landed on the roof of the building next door.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Is that the building that had a skylight where the other body fell?
I'm assuming.
Can you imagine being sitting in that building relaxing and a baby's body?
Can you imagine working at that building and being like, are you freaking kidding me again?
What do these crackheads throw off the roof this time? Like, oh.
Right. Probably not crackheads, because they probably don't talk like Arkansans. Probably called them worse names than that.
Yeah.
Crackheads was probably not their first term to use. Purcell was charged with murder, but 3 psychiatrists claimed that she was mentally confused at the time of the incident, so she was found not guilty by reason of insanity.
I would agree with that, probably.
Which is insane. One of the most famous or talked about murders at the Cecil, or linked to the Cecil, is that of Elizabeth Short, or as she's known now, the Black Dahlia. Elizabeth moved to California with dreams to be an actress, although she is not known to have gotten any acting jobs. Her naked and badly mutilated body was found in 1947 by a mother and her young child.
Shit.
The body was so badly disfigured when they found it, they first thought that it was a mannequin. She had been cut completely in half at the waist, and her face had been cut from mouth to ears, creating what is known as a Glasgow smile. I don't know how to say that properly, so I apologize. Or a Chelsea smile. For those of you unfamiliar with either term, it's like the Joker's scarring.
Where they cut from the center of your mouth up.
Like you're smiling. Yeah. The body had been drained of all of its bodily fluids, cleaned up, and posed with her hands above her head and her legs spread.
Wow, that's pretty fucked up.
There was no blood found, and no one was ever caught for this murder. Although this murder didn't happen at the Cecil, most still associate it with the Cecil, as Elizabeth was reportedly seen at the hotel prior to her murder, trying to get in good with Hollywood producers at the hotel bar. So most people say that her last drink was at the Cecil. And that she likely met her murderer there.
Were there roofies and stuff then? Did somebody drug her?
Really, no. There's a whole lot of theories, I'm sure, but there's not a whole lot of answers.
I know it's a really famous case. So.
Oh, God, yeah. And I try not to get too far into it because we have a lot more to discuss. One of the weirdest deaths to occur at the hotel was that of George Gianni, who was 65 years old. In 1962, 27-year-old Pauline Otten had gotten into a verbal altercation on the 9th floor of the hotel with her estranged husband. Her husband left, and Otten decided to jump to her death after writing a suicide note. Unfortunately for George Gianni, when Pauline Otten jumped, she landed directly on top of him, killing them both. Police initially thought that they had jumped together, but realized that Gianni would likely have lost his shoes in the fall and that his hands were still in his pockets as though he had been taking a leisurely stroll and not a 9-story fall. 9-story fall. Would help if I could, talk. Others who jumped from the upper level windows include Helen Gurney in 1954 and Julia Moore in 1962, as well as a woman who is still unidentified who jumped or fell from the 12th floor in 1975. Another interesting fact about the Cecil, serial killer Richard Ramirez, known as the Night Stalker, stayed in the hotel between 1984 and 1985. He would reportedly dump his bloody clothing in the dumpster outside before either walking partially or completely naked through the lobby to get to his room. Another serial killer stayed there as well. Serial killer Jack Unterweger.
Sounds pretty good, yeah.
Also stayed at the hotel in 1991 when he was in LA.
I thought he was kind of interesting because he committed murder, then he got out of prison, and he was like an example of rehabilitation. Then he went on and killed some more people. So
that's crazy.
Then he ended up like killing 12 more people and killing himself in prison. So
yeah, I think I read that he killed like 3 hookers while he was in LA.
Wow.
Got in trouble for that. But I don't know if he ever was charged for the hookers or if he was just charged like for the hookers' murder, not charged for them their services.
I'd like a refund for the hookers.
Anyways, in June 1964, Goldie Osgood, known to the locals as Pigeon Goldie, because she fed the birds in the area, was found murdered in her room. She had been strangled, stabbed, raped, and her room had been burglarized. Burglarized.
Good job, Keisha. Still can't say that word. Burglarized.
Yeah. Burglarized. 29-year-old Jacques B. Ellinger, we're going to say it that way, had been seen walking through the area where she fed the birds covered in blood. And since he had been seen near the hotel at the time of the crime, and he was an acquaintance of Goldie's, he was arrested for the murder. But fortunately for him, they soon cleared him of the crime and no one was actually ever charged for her murder. Which is sad. Robert Sullivan, who had killed his girlfriend, 32-year-old Terry Frances Craig in Huntington Beach in July of 1988, was arrested at the Cecil in September of 88 after police tracked him down. So we're adding another murderer who had stayed at the hotel.
Damn it.
There is a photo that made rounds in 2014 where a boy, and I'm going to butcher his name and I apologize, Costin Aldrete, noticed a window from the outside of the Cecil and got a strange feeling like it was staring back at him. So he took a picture and he saw a transparent figure standing on the ledge looking as though it was about to jump. So here's some of like the ghosty experiences that I found that people said that they had. Some people have said that the Black Dahlia is seen at the hotel bar drinking alone and that once they've seen her, their drinks will spill. Some claim that they've seen shadow figures. There are claims that bed sheets will be tugged on in the middle of the night, which is typical for haunted hotels. People say that they have been sat on by ghosts. I don't know if that means like while they're laying down in bed, they like feel like they're being sat on, or if it's like, oh, I'm gonna come sit in your lap, because that's a little creepy.
If I was a ghost, I would sit on people.
I'm not shocked.
I would hope that I could still be able to fart too and crop those people.
God, that would be awful. Everybody would like blame each other on your farts, because they're That's bad.
I hope I can haunt you long enough to fart on you.
You already have. It's pre-haunting. Oh, God. Anyways, there's a claim that one ghost likes to hug people while they're asleep, which is creepy, but I guess it could be worse.
I could see that being in like a horror movie. Just know that whenever you smell my fart, I'll be there.
That's so weird.
And I'll hug you.
I mean, at least you're not trying to be like push, or they're not trying to push you out the window or something,
Yeah.
but that's so weird. Apparently guests have reported being tickled by ghosts as well, which is also creepy.
Yeah.
I don't even want normal people tickling me, so there's that. Faucets in showers will turn off and on by themselves, as well as screams can be heard from the rooms where people died, or they can be heard from outside as though someone is falling to their death. One source claimed that hotel staff said that they cleaned a room. They also claimed it. They cleaned a room once. And then when they looked back at the room after cleaning it, like they turned back around and it was completely dirty again. Which is insane.
That's what I would say. I swear I just cleaned that room.
Right? Okay, so obviously with as many deaths in the history, people think the place is haunted. You feel ghosts, you hear ghosts, there's a lot going on there. But here's the reason that made me want to do this story to begin with. Elisa Lam was a 21-year-old Canadian college student who had decided to go on a solo trip throughout the western coastal states of the U.S. She began her trip in San Diego, writing about her trip to the zoo on her blog. San Diego Zoo is phenomenal, so I mean, I don't blame her there. She then traveled to LA and checked into the Cecil on January 26th. This is in 2013, by the way. She was scheduled to stay in LA for 5 days and then continue on to Santa Cruz. One of the days, her parents didn't receive their daily phone call from her. You know, she's 21, she needs to check in. I'm sure her parents were worried about her, a single girl traveling by herself.
Yeah.
So they notified authorities that something was wrong, which good on her parents. I'm proud of them. Some parents don't give a crap. Hotel staff reported seeing her alone the day of her disappearance. A nearby bookstore manager also stated that they saw her that day and that she seemed outgoing, very lively, and very friendly, stating that she had come in to buy gifts for her family. So, I mean, if she's coming in to buy gifts for her family, she doesn't really seem like someone who was planning on dying.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just from my perspective. Police searched the hotel with scent tracking dogs and found nothing. Flyers were placed around LA, but no new information turned up until February 16th, when LAPD released security footage from the hotel of Elisa taken on the last day that she had been alive. In this video, it has no sound. It's on YouTube if you search Elisa Lam video. She enters the elevator, presses buttons, just like you normally would. She waits. And then she goes to the door and checks, like she's trying to see if anybody's out there, because the door's still open. She looks, around, comes back in, and then she looks like she's trying to hide, like on one of the sides by the buttons. She, makes herself small, almost. She goes in and out of the elevator some more, and for a moment she disappears from view of the security tape outside of the elevator. She comes back into the elevator with her hands on her head, looking like she's having a conversation with someone. She pushes more buttons, goes back out, and waves her arms like she's explaining something. And I wrote here that it should be noted that her hands are stretched out and her fingers look elongated. Like, I tried to make my hands look like hers, but there was no way, while I was watching, that it was going to work. It reminded me kind of like Slender Man's hands.
That's odd.
It was creepy. It didn't look natural. Then she disappears from the camera's range again. Elevator closes without her in it, and it opens and closes a few different times. I'm assuming that this is on the floors that she pushed the buttons for. She kind of seems like she's hiding from someone or being chased, but she never returns in the video.
Oh, wow. That's scary.
Obviously, after the release of the video, the media and social media were having a field day with this. There were theories about what had happened to her, as her body had not been released yet, or not been found yet. Some stated she had probably had a mental breakdown. Others guessed that she was intoxicated. And others said that she was likely possessed due to the history of the Cecil.
I would believe any of them.
Yeah. About this time, guests of the hotel started complaining. Not about the fact that someone had gone missing during their stay, but that the water pressure was low, the water was discolored, and then it was strange tasting.
Ooh.
You see where this is going. Maintenance decided to check out the water tanks on the roof, which led to a gruesome discovery. Inside one of the tanks, floating naked next to her clothes, there was a partially decomposed body that was Lisa's. The autopsy performed on the body found no evidence of trauma or sexual assault, no traces of illicit drugs or alcohol, and no evidence of suicide.
Maybe this is just my inner conspiracy theory going, but is it like somebody H.H. Holmes, this hotel? Is there like young women coming in there and this guy's using this as his personal proving ground, like to take these women and kill them?
I have no idea.
That's crazy.
The cause of death was listed as accidental drowning, but they had no idea how she had gotten up there and into the tank. The roof itself was only accessible by keycard, and the only people who have access are hotel employees, and an alarm sounds if you try the door without a key. The tanks were large and propped up on cement blocks, which would be hard to access, and the lids were extremely heavy and hard to remove, much less replace on top of herself once she got in there. Some claim that the video's timestamp was blurred out because she was actually interacting with another person who was not yet visible in the video. Some claim that the footage was edited before being released to the public, and there are claims that a whole minute of footage was removed from the middle.
So it could have been an employee there that altered the video.
Yeah. Or, like, there are claims that, like, police themselves edited it. I mean, there's a lot. Some claim that they believe that Elisa was playing the elevator game in the video. Have you heard of the alligator game?
Mm-mm.
The elevator game?
The alligator game?
Yeah, that too. For those who don't know, including Wes, here's a crappy explanation of what the elevator game is. Apparently, it's a game that one person plays alone in a building with at least 10 stories, which has an elevator. If you do this, I'm going to say right now, if you do this and crap goes down, it's not my fault. You did it to yourself. You have free will. You make your stupid decisions. It's not my fault. I didn't tell you to do this. I'm never the one that's responsible for any of your stupidity. I'm pretty much reading most of this word for word from a link from ghostinmymachine.com, by the way, because there's no other way to explain this. You first enter the building of your choosing and enter the elevator by yourself. You cannot enter if you are not alone. It will not work. You press the button for the 4th floor. When it reaches the 4th floor, you do not get out, but instead press the button for the 2nd floor. You reach the 2nd floor and remain in and press the button for the 6th floor. You reach the 6th and do not get out. You press the button for the 2nd floor. Same thing, you don't get out. You press the button for the 10th floor. You reach the 10th and you don't get out. You press the button for the 5th floor. When on the 5th floor, a woman may enter the elevator. You do not look at her. You do not speak to her. She is not what she seems. Press the button for the 1st floor. If the elevator begins ascending to the 10th floor instead of descending to the 1st, you may proceed. If it goes to the 1st floor, you must exit as soon as the doors open. Do not look back. Do not speak.
That's a weird game.
If you reach the 10th floor, you may choose to either get off or stay on. If you choose to get off and if the woman entered on the 5th floor, she may ask you where you are going. Do not answer her. Do not look at her. If you do, she may decide to keep you for her own. You will know whether you have arrived at the other world by one indication. The only person in it is you. There's Also instructions on how to leave the underworld, which is otherworld, which is basically like the opposite. Like you do everything the opposite, like opposite order.
I've never heard of that at all.
It's creepy. Obviously, since it's all over the internet and has been since 2013, there are multiple theories on what happened. Of course, the idea that she was playing the elevator game and was possibly talking to the woman that might have attempted to get on are prevalent. Other than the elevator game, some state that she was an Illuminati sacrifice.
Shit.
And some mention that she may have been possessed by one of the serial killers that stayed in the hotel, such as Richard Ramirez.
I believe that. I really think somebody was using this place just to kill people.
Yeah, I mean, possibly. Some believe that Elisa had already died when the elevator video... Some believe that Elisa had already died when the elevator video was taken, and that it was her ghost, that the elevator doesn't recognize her present and thus doesn't close for some weird reason. I don't know. Obviously, she could have been acting quote-unquote weird as a result of her struggle with bipolar disorder, but that doesn't explain how she got into the tank alone or why she was next to her clothes without wearing her clothes. Another thing that people found strange in this case is that Elisa's cell phone was never found, and her blog continued to show new posts being published throughout the next few months.
That's
now,
odd.
If it was a Tumblr blog, I don't know about any others. Tumblr does allow you to schedule the posts.
That's what I was wondering.
But that's still, like, people still think, like, it could be somebody else posting on her blog if they had her phone, because that's how most of us use Tumblr.
It was now that you can't look at porn on
it. Some people have stated that the death of Elisa Lam is very similar to the movie Dark Water, and thus believe that this could have been a murder that was inspired by the movie from 2005. I honestly haven't seen the movie, but I think that story is kind of a stretch. But who knows? I mean, it could be.
I've never heard of that movie. Is that one that we should watch?
I don't really know. Let us know if you think that we should watch the movie, because I've never really seen it. I don't know much about it. So whatever your theory might be, we can all agree that the Cecil Hotel, or the Stay on Main, or whatever we're calling it these days, has one of the darkest pasts and has a crap ton of deaths and is probably hashtag hella haunted.
Seems like a pretty cool place. So it's still open now. You can go there and stay now?
Yeah, they rebranded it. I think they're doing some things to make it like more modernized on the inside. I know they had used it kind of as like you rent out your room by the weekly at one point. But now I think they're trying to make it a little bit nicer. Not like fancy hotel like some of the ones that we've done before, but they're trying to make it like a nice budget hotel, considering the area that it's in is still not the best, supposedly. And,
oh, really?
Yeah. But they're doing a lot of different things, changing it, trying to rebrand. Someone from New York who had bought a bunch of like the slummier hotels and rebranded them and brought them up and made them fancy, bought it and then decided that, you know, they were going to do the same with this one, even though it's in LA. And they had said that even though, like, American Horror Story got their inspiration from this, they don't really feel as though it's going to be a negative to them, because most of the people who are going there are interested in the haunted history anyways. And so
that would be the only reason I would go there.
Yeah, me too. I mean, because if I'm going to LA, I'm probably not interested in staying in a bad area.
That's true.
But you never know. I mean, it's us. We've done crazier things, like that creepy hotel that we stayed in Nashville.
Yeah.
But
interesting story.
Yeah, for sure.
I really think that there is just somebody using that building just to kill people, and it could have been Richard Ramirez, I guess.
Well, I mean, this was in 2013.
Oh.
When did Richard...
He was already dead by then.
I was about to say, when did he die?
I had it wrote down, but I don't know now. He died by then, though.
Are you playing solitaire?
No.
Listen, guys,
So,
I can't see. I'm taller than Wes right now, which is like the first time in my entire life because I'm sitting on a chair that's taller than his. But usually I can see like the reflection in his glasses of what he's doing on his computer. And this one time I have given him the opportunity to not do anything on our podcast.
I was playing solitaire.
Were you really?
Yes.
Oh my God, Wesley. Oh, I see how interested you are.
Oh, I was listening. I'm just a good
You're
multitasker.
just ADHD and need other things for stimulus. No,
I'm sorry.
goodness.
I could play solitaire and do mine at the same time.
Could you?
Probably.
Have you?
I'm not going to
I'm not going to
comment.
ask that question. We don't need that information. Anyways, so sorry this was kind of a shorter episode.
It's not short. It's
Isn't
30-something minutes, I figure.
Oh,
I
well,
don't know.
fancy. But we appreciate you guys for listening. Thanks for letting me take my weird, what do you call it?
Voyage of Destruction and Death.
Yeah, Voyage of Destruction and Death is a really good one. Where did you get that?
My brain.
It's just pulled it out of the air. We really appreciate it, guys. If you have any suggestions for us, anything, topics that you'd like for us to cover, feel free to, send us a message. Our social media pages are Instagram. We have an Instagram.
Yep.
It is Tequila and Terror Podcast on Instagram.
Yeah, and a
Tequila
Twitter.
and Terror Podcast on Facebook. Tequila underscore terror. Tequila underscore terror on Instagram. Or no, Tequila underscore terror on Twitter.
That
ADHD.
NyQuil creeping up on you.
It's Dayquil and it's ADHD. It's fun. Do we have any others? Tequilaandterror.com, right?
We've got a YouTube, too.
We have a YouTube.
Yeah.
Look us up on YouTube. We have like 3 followers. Please be our friend.
Figure it's so easy just to toss stuff on there.
Yeah. We should just take videos of us doing random stuff and post them on our YouTube. Tell us what you want us to do with our YouTube.
Or not,
be
because we're
fun.
just going to do what we want with it.
But if you have more
I guess
ideas,
we're
I'll do
supposed
crazy
to
stuff.
interact with people, though, aren't we?
We like them.
Yeah.
We want to be their friends.
See,
I
I'm
want to
almost
be
a
their
hermit,
friends.
and Keisha likes all
I'm
these
an
people.
extrovert.
So I guess we're a good couple because she tries to get me to do stuff, and I just try to be a hermit.
And every once in a while, he's like, yeah, let's do it. Sure, whatever. It'll get you to shut up.
Keisha's like, oh, we need all the people. And I was like, mm-mm.
I love people. People are the best.
But thanks for everybody listening. To me, it's still really weird that people listen to this. Like, people will tell me, oh, I'll listen to your show. I was like, really?
It's interesting that something that occurs in our living room is heard across the world.
Yeah. Like, especially China. That really surprised me. Like, at first, I thought it was just like a bot. But then we had so many people listening in China that I don't think it was.
It's exciting.
And we actually got onto the charts in China. So I thought that was exciting.
I don't think it was China, babe.
It was Singapore.
I
Isn't that China?
don't think that's part of China.
I think it is.
I don't think
Sorry, if you're from Singapore, then I don't know anything about you. It's pretty cool.
He's really bad at any geography if it's not the United States.
Especially
geography.
when you get booze in me.
Yeah, he gets alcoholed up and stuff just goes south. But
we've had a lot of new listeners this week from places that I wouldn't have really thought. I mean,
it's exciting.
yeah, and
I think I've said that 7 times now, but I'm pumped.
And thanks to the people in Australia for just keep listening. Like, I want to go there so bad.
Hashtag Australian World Tour.
Yeah, just go to Australia and sit on the beach. I was like, hey, we'll be there.
All right, guys. Well, thanks again for listening. Share us with your friends and, interact with us on social media.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Bye.